to. All right.
All right. So that's live. And then I'm going to go live on Instagram.
And I am live on my channel as well.
All right. So we are live and live. Okay. So we are live. So we are going to go ahead and get started. I want to respect everybody's time, especially for lunch. Karen, thank you so much for being here. You are basically our resident expert. But I wanted to have a conversation with you because there seems to be a trend going on. Women in our community are not washing their hair. Really quickly, not sure where it's coming from, but really quickly, I'll just give you 3 examples that came up on my feed. So the very first one is there was a young lady who was on TikTok and she went viral. I do not have TikTok, but by the time she got over to my feed on YouTube, she had not washed her hair for 3 months and 93 days. And she was basically giving tips and she was doing a series about how to conceal the fact that you have not washed your hair. And Karen, when I tell you she had so much product in her hair, it was white. It was white. The second example that popped up on my feed a couple of days ago was a young lady. She had not washed her hair in 6 months. She was wearing what appeared to be a wig because I believe when you lay your wig, you have to put the makeup on. She took her wig off. She started scratching her scalp. She had so much buildup. And then the last example is there was a young lady who had not washed her hair for a year. It was her hairstylist, and she did say that she was going through a state of depression. So with all 3 of those examples, especially the last one, I do want to acknowledge that depression can manifest differently in people. And for that young lady, her hairstylist got her back on track. However, for most of our ladies who are not washing their hair, they are not depressed. So I just quickly wanted to have a conversation with you just about the best hair care practices and just about our wash days. So are we ready?
Yes, we are. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. First of all, I just kind of want to maybe think about your thoughts from the professional standpoint. Where do you think this is coming from about us not washing our hair?
I mean, I think it's not, even though like you, I'm not on TikTok. I don't know anything about these trends, but just culturally speaking, it's not, I'm not surprised by it. I mean, I've heard it most of my life, even as a, you know, as a professional, I've heard it a lot. Like, we shouldn't wash our hair. Black women don't wash their hair. Oh no, when your hair is dirty. Oh, it's better when it's dirty. Oh, my hair looks better. My hair looks better when it's dirty.
Yes.
And while sometimes I like my hair when it's time for me to wash it because
it behaves better.
Yeah, so yeah, it does look better sometimes as the style gets, oh, okay, I get that. That's true, but that doesn't negate the fact that when you're not washing your hair, it's not just the hair, it's the scalp. We can't forget about scalp. That is the biggest issue. We'll focus on the aesthetics of the hair, but we forget the health of the largest organ of our bodies, which is skin, and skin is scalp. So again, culturally speaking, I'm not surprised by it, but it is poor scalp hygiene and poor hair care to not wash your hair, cleanse your scalp. It's outside of the one with depression, like you said, depression, I get it. That person was an exception to the rule in general. She is not the rule. Hair care is part of self-care. When you're depressed, at many times you neglect your self-care. I get that. But we're just talking about in general. It's poor scalp care, it's poor hygiene, and people, women giving tips on how to best maintain the health of your hair by not washing your hair. It's just like, it's mind-blowing, to be honest. It's just mind-blowing to me. It is.
Okay, so I think it's cultural. I think this might be cultural as well. We're going to talk about this very briefly. Do you think it also has to do with the fact that currently a lot of our women are being charged a lot for their hairstyles and getting their hair done? Therefore, they want to prolong the style. For instance, knotless braids. They've paid $700. They want to keep them in for as long as possible. Do you think that contributes as well?
I absolutely think. I think that we have a tendency of really prioritizing, like I say, the aesthetics of the hair as opposed to the health of the hair and the health of the scalp. So if you are paying $700 to get braids, I had no idea. I don't wear braids, but I had no idea braids cost $700. I do see like reels that says, "Oh, this person came in and paid $1,000 for a haircut." I just think
Yeah.
that's just hyping up a video to get more viral views. I don't know. But if someone is paying seven, eight, $900 for a hairstyle, yes, they do want to keep it in longer to get their money's worth. However, what I always say, and I'll keep saying, like braids that you keep, not just braids, any style that you pay for and you pay a lot of money to get it done, what does it really cost you? What is it costing you? If
On the
it's
back end.
causing
Okay.
on the back end, if it's causing your hair to come out, if it's causing your edges to come out, if you're keeping it in for 6, 7, 8, 9 months, 3 or 4 months, and neglecting the health of your actual hair and drying out your actual hair, you are losing hair. So what is it really costing you? So yeah, I absolutely think that's in part why people won't wash their hair, because they are focused on aesthetics as opposed to the true health of their hair and scalp.
Okay. All right. So we have set that. So first, let's just talk about, it's a very basic question and you did answer, but if you could just expand a little bit. Why is it important for us to wash our hair and scalp?
Yes, because see, washing our hair includes cleansing the scalp. So
Mm-hmm.
washing our hair, when I think of washing our hair, I think of cleansing the scalp. They kind of go hand in hand. So because healthy hair really starts at its foundation, the scalp care. Your hair will only grow and maintain its health with a healthy scalp. So when we are washing our hair, we're cleansing our scalp. Shampoo is really designed to be applied to the scalp. So even when you are applying shampoo, it's designed to be applied to the scalp and, of course, the hair, but also the scalp, because it helps to lift up dirt. It helps to lift up debris, your hair products, your hair butters, your oils, your leave-in conditioners, your styling cream, your styling gel, all the stuff that builds up on the hair, the pollutants in the air, the smoke in the air. Everything that's irritating your scalp, it helps to remove that from the scalp so that your hair can actually emerge from the scalp healthy. That's why we're cleansing our hair.
That's why we wash our hair. Okay. So the very first question, how often should we wash our hair? And I'm going to preface this by saying for individuals, it's going to be different. You might even have a mother-daughter pair who the mother can wash her hair every 2 weeks, but she has to wash her daughter's hair every week. I wash my hair every 2 weeks. When it comes to washing our hair, what are some signs that we need to wash our hair?
Generally speaking, like I said, because everyone's sharing frequency is different, but
Yes.
generally speaking, once a week, every 7 days, 10 days, or 2 weeks, generally speaking. Now, you're taking out the times that you may get some braids, or you may cornrow your hair and slap on a wig, or do a protective style, or do a vacation style, but just in general, once a week, every 2 weeks in general. And even if you cleanse your hair even more frequently, so as a cosmetologist and as a trichologist, so working with women deal with hair loss, then some women may need to cleanse their hair and scalp even more frequently. So some women may choose to cleanse their scalp if they have hair conditions, if they have dry, itchy scalp, if they have oily scalp, greasy hair, for example, scalp disorders, then they may cleanse their hair twice a week. And that's okay too. Let me be clear about that. So just signs in general that you need to wash your hair or cleanse your scalp is itchy scalp. If you itchy scalp, if you feel like your scalp feels tender, it may be time for you to wash your hair or cleanse your hair. Buildup. If you're scratching your hair, if you take your finger and give it a scratch and look underneath your nail and you see a ton of buildup on your scalp, it's like it is your, if you have a ton of buildup on your scalp that you can literally see, then that is obstructing the pores, the hair follicles. It's affecting the hair's ability to really emerge from the scalp. So if you have buildup, if your hair starts to look dull, now I use that take that with a grain of salt, because our
Okay.
natural hair may not necessarily look shiny. I don't even use the word shiny to describe our hair unless it's like blown out straight. But if it looks unusually dull for you, for
Okay.
your hair, then it's a lot of buildup on the scalp. And that's a sign, a buildup on the hair. And that's a sign that it may be time to cleanse the hair.
Okay. And then, of course, we know odor as well. When your hair begins to emit a smell.
That's a good one. Yes. But also, what I usually think about in terms of scalp cleansing, because even if you have none of those signs, even if your hair doesn't smell, I mean, we have a lot of products that we can put in our hair that gives off a nice odor. Um, Even if you have none of those signs, I recommend getting on a hair and scalp cleansing routine, because just because we
Mhm.
can add enough oils and enough um, products to our hair sometimes to make our hair give off a nice sheen. We can
Yeah.
put products in our hair that gives off a nice gloss. Or, I mean, there are many things that we can do to our hair where our hair looks fine. That is why, in part, we'll say my hair looks best. Oh my gosh, it's been 2 weeks. My hair looks fabulous. I don't want to wash it. So even if you don't have those classic signs, that doesn't mean you still should not wash your hair, which is why getting in a habit of having a shampoo schedule or routine of doing it, I feel that's best.
Okay, I like that. So, like I said, just for reference, I wash my hair every 2 weeks and it's always on a Monday. I have
Mhm.
had people ask me or say to me, why don't you wash your hair once a week? Why don't you wash your hair more often? 2 weeks for me, everyone is a part of my community knows that I find doing my hair very therapeutic. However, my wash day is a wash day. I do not have time every Monday to sit our family dynamic has changed and attention is elsewhere. But I do not have time to sit in my bathroom every Monday and wash my hair. And I'm
Mhm.
saying that to say, to bring the point home that number one, washing hair is relative, but also number two, sometimes circumstances can also play a role in how often we wash our hair.
Right. Absolutely. Which is why the schedule. So if you're on a routine, it doesn't mean that sometimes you may deviate from the schedule, but we're
Right.
building it into your routine. Like if you cleanse your body every day, even when I go back to what I said about, even if it doesn't look like, even if you don't have any of those signs, you have to know that your scalp is dirty. If you're outside, there are pollutants in the air. It is stuff, irritants that's attaching to your scalp. And I keep focusing on scalp care because I feel like scalp care is what is neglected. But even if you don't see any of those signs, then you still need to wash your hair, just like you need to wash your body. You may not smell, you may not have odor, you may not see dirt on your body, you may feel fine, but you still gonna get your butt in the shower or take a bath every day, every 2 days, whatever your body cleansing schedule is, you're still gonna do it because you know you've been out, you know you have been sweating, even if you don't
Yes.
see it, you know it's there. And it's the same thing with your hair. Even if you don't see it, even if you don't feel it, scalp care is key to healthy hair and healthy hair growth. So as you were saying, I know you're washed. You said, oh, it's not
It
a
is a wash day. Yes, ma'am.
oh, I know
Mom,
all that
not
hair.
doing my hair, but just the way the schedule is set up, the way the family is now set up, I cannot sit in my bathroom every Monday. I can't. I don't have the time.
Yeah, right, right. And that's why
How
even
often
if
do you
you're
wash your hair?
lifestyle should be considered. With your family and with your household, you don't have the time to do it every week. That's okay. And you have a lot of hair. If you include lifestyle, like someone who exercises a lot or
Yes.
sweats profusely
It's
in
sweat. Yes.
you need to cleanse their hair more than once a week, more than once a week, more than twice a week, or may need to rinse some of that sweat out. Some of us
Mhm.
are dealing with perimenopause or menopause and we have hot flashes. Oh, I don't know if you can relate to that. Probably not. But when your scalp is saturated with sweat, you may need to do it more frequently. So lifestyle has to be considered too in terms of your frequency. But you have to determine your frequency, make it a part of your lifestyle. And then if you need to deviate, that's fine.
And that's actually perfect for the next part that I was getting ready to say. We talked about why it's important and we talked about just some points. But the other thing, like you just said, it also depends on lifestyle. So like you said, if you work out or if you sweat. Also, we do have some naturalistas who are a little bit heavy-handed with their products when it comes to using them. And then also we need to take into consideration porosity when it comes to washing our hair.
Right. All of that has to be considered. Your hair's ability to absorb moisture, to retain moisture, that has to be considered. This dry hair right here, this high porosity, I can laugh about my hair because I know my hair, and I want every woman and man listening to this live to know their hair, to know what works best for you. But porosity has to be considered. What you're applying to the hair, if you're heavy on oils, if you're heavy on butters, that has to be considered as well. If you're someone who does not put a lot of product in their hair, you may not have a every 5-6 day shampoo schedule. You may be able to go a little longer without washing the hair. Once you what you put on your scalp, I always recommend when applying products to your hair, you can keep it about an inch away from the scalp, even though it will migrate down to the scalp. But if you're keeping those heavy styling products and heavy oils and butters away from the scalp, then that's going to help with your scalp microbiome. And I know I'm not to go way
Too science.
but yes, it's we have to prioritize scalp care when it comes to cleansing our hair. Again, think about scalp care before the hair, because really that's what's key. But lifestyle porosity, people who have low porosity hair, do you know your porosity? I'm sure you know.
Low.
Okay, low. Okay, right. Do you add a lot of product to your hair?
I do not. I am currently on a Shebe journey, and it's really just 2 products, and that's it.
Yes, I do. I didn't know that about you. We'll be talking about that soon as we're getting on the couch with Curl House. But anyway, you don't use a lot of product in your hair. No. So, and I'm sure that helps with your every 2-week cycle, right?
It does.
Have a lot of product on your hair. All of the product is not affecting your scalp either. So your every 2-week cycle is fine for your hair. Me, I put a lot of, because of my porosity, because my hair takes in moisture, my porosity level is high, by the way, meaning my hair takes in moisture pretty quickly and it releases it pretty quickly. I do tend to err on the side of moisturizing products and heavy butters to really lock in moisture longer. I know I have a lot of butters and oils on my hair. Therefore, I know I need to rinse them out as well, which is why I do tend to cleanse more frequently as well. So those are things that need to be considered as well.
All right. So let's move on. So we talked about, let's not move on, but I want to extend that. So we talked about sweaty. We talked about lifestyle. I particularly had, when I was in the gym, I used to sweat. Unfortunately for me, one of the first places that I began to sweat is my scalp. So I used to use a product. It was Sunday to Sunday. It was their micellar ACV stretch. It was not a dry shampoo, but it's more of a liquid. Like we just said, life happens. So if it is a situation where we do need to extend our wash day, we don't want to make it a chronic thing. We don't want to, keep doing that. Is there anything that you can suggest? Should we need to extend maybe a couple of days? We don't want to go too long, but are there any suggestions or any tips to help prolong that, especially with the scalp?
Absolutely. Even if you're not going through a wash day where you're shampooing and conditioning your hair, I still recommend proper scalp care. I still recommend clarifying the scalp, the buildup from the scalp, whether or not you're in the gym or not. So great 2 clarifiers that are clarifying just means to cleanse, by the way. 2 that I recommend. I know you mentioned Sunday to Sunday. I've heard of that product, but the key ingredient in that product is probably the apple cider vinegar. Apple cider
Yeah.
vinegar is amazing for the scalp. It is an amazing clarifier for the scalp. You can do a
Okay.
cider vinegar rinse. Meaning
Okay.
take part apple cider vinegar, part water, shake it up, spray it on your scalp, and that will help to remove some of the buildup from your scalp. You can do it in
Okay.
wash days because remember, scalp care is key. In addition to
Yeah.
other favorite one, if you just don't like the way apple cider vinegar smells, even though you dilute it, it still smells like apple cider vinegar. Some people just absolutely hate it. I think it dissipates after a while. One of my favorites for the scalp is hydrosols. Hydrosol, not like a lavender hydrosol. Some people think of like a lavender hydrosol or rose hydrosol or chamomile hydrosol. So the difference
Okay.
and they smell amazing. They're great for the scalp. For the scalp, rose is great, chamomile is great, lemongrass hydrosol is amazing. Lavender is just absolutely one of my favorites because they are natural astringents as well. They're antimicrobial, meaning the microorganisms on your scalp, which affect the health of your scalp, is compromised. So it helps to rid buildup on the scalp. They're bacterial. So hydrosols, you can, and a lavender hydrosol, whew, smells amazing. And you can spray that directly to your scalp. And that's how you can maintain the health of your scalp, even if you're not washing your hair. And that is what
Okay.
I recommend if you are a person who, just like you said, is having one of those weeks, is having one of those months, and you
Life
can't
is happening. Yeah.
wash your hair. Make sure you get the scalp. The scalp care is key. Scalp is key. So make sure you clarify the scalp, ACV or hydrosol. Yes, do some research on hydrosols. They are amazing for the scalp and really help, particularly apple cider vinegar has a lower pH as well. So it's not
Okay.
disrupt the scalp microbiome. So the scalp environment for your scalp is not going to disrupt that. And that's what happens when we are not washing our hair. The poor scalp. We put our poor scalp through so much when we are not washing our hair or cleansing our scalp. You know, as a trichologist, I see
Yeah.
it. It's so many people don't care about scalp care. Many people don't consider the health of the scalp until they have to consider the health of the scalp. And that is when they are dealing with hair loss. And I don't want that to happen to women.
Right.
That's
Absolutely.
the health of the scalp. So get ahead of it and get in the habit of of
Preventative. Hmm.
of cleansing the scalp.
Okay. Now, can you just take us through? Again, we're going to have to tailor this to everybody. Everybody's needs are different. But can you just run through a basic wash day for us? What should it look like? What should we use?
Okay, a basic wash day. Now,
Hmm.
you have a wash day. Some people have a
Yes.
wash hour. Some people
Yes.
short hair may have a wash 15 minutes. But
Right.
in general, whatever your wash time looks like, I always recommend number one is to do some type of pre-poo. Now, normally
Okay.
I say pre-poo. I say pre-poo is something you do before you shampoo.
Yes.
Normally, here pre-poo, particularly in the natural hair community, we are referring to applying some type of penetrating oil to the scalp.
Hmm.
Coconut
Yes.
oil being number one. Babasu oil is an example. Applying it to the scalp an hour, not to the scalp, excuse me, to the hair an hour before, the day before, to help relax the hair a little bit. That oil can get into the hair strand, helps to minimize protein loss when you do wash your hair. So number one, do some type of pre-poo. It can be by adding an oil to the scalp the day before, an hour before, to soften the hair. And when you do the pre-poo, it makes detangling easier. So in this case, when I'm saying doing a pre-poo, it means applying a penetrating oil to your scalp, excuse me, to your hair, not to your
Yeah.
scalp. Let me clarify. Apply something to your hair before you shampoo it. That's number one. And or pre-detangling. So I
Yes.
recommend. So when I
Yeah.
pre-poo, in this case, I mean doing something to your hair before you shampoo it. Don't just take your hairstyle down, dip that hair under the water, and slap shampoo on it. No, pre-poo before you shampoo. So a pre-poo can, again, applying the oil to your hair or taking a water bottle, misting your hair with water, taking your hands and pulling out that shed hair. This is before you shampoo it. You want to take out that shed hair. Many times, if you're cleansing your hair once a week, your hair sheds every day. So your hair
Yeah.
can shed anywhere from 50 to 150 strands per day. Now, multiply that by 7 days or 14 days or 21 days. I mean, you could have, I don't know, 500 to 1,000 strands of hair in your hair shaft. So pull all of that out, because if you're not pulling it out and you put that shampoo in it, guess what's going to happen? It's going to attach to the hair and it's going to create more tangles. So number one, do some type of pre-poo before you
And
shampoo.
we're doing that with oils. I've also heard of people do penetrating oils. I've also heard people doing it with butters, like mango butter, cacao
Mhm.
butter, hemp seed butter. Something that's going to penetrate the hair strands and protect the strands.
Yes, so you can do it
All
with
right.
oils, butters, or if you don't want to do that, you can just take a water bottle, or you can take a leave-in conditioner, a light conditioner, put it in the hair. It's before you shampoo, so you all have options before you shampoo.
Yes.
Just pull out, gently pull out that shed hair. And typically, I recommend using your fingers. Using your gently pull it out. So now, and you have pre-detangled your hair. Number one, so pre-poo. Number
Number
two
one. Number
is
two,
cleanse. Now to
cleanse.
cleanse with your shampoo. Cleanse with your shampoo. And when you cleanse, apply it directly to wet your hair down and apply it first directly to your scalp. That's where
Okay.
shampoo goes first, to your scalp. Massage it in your scalp and then pull it down your hair shaft. So yes, you are cleansing the hair too, but the scalp care is key. And depending on, I typically recommend two shampoos, but again,
Okay.
if you're someone who shampoos, hey, if you're a person who will cleanse their hair twice a week or 3 times a week, you don't have a lot of product in it, one shampoo could be fine. But for the most part, two shampoos. That first one helps to break up what's on the hair and scalp, which is why the lather may not be as great, because the shampoo is fighting against all the stuff on your hair. And then the second shampoo. And when you are cleansing your scalp, I can go ahead and discuss. Should I go ahead and add? You can do that with warm water. All right, just you can't just me throw that in there. So yeah, you can when you do your shampoo, let me throw in there. Go ahead, you can do that with warm water. That warm water is really going to help to break up the stuff on your scalp. Cleanse twice. The next
Twice.
is conditioner. There are many different types of conditioner, as there are many different types of shampoos, but in general, many different types of conditioner. When I'm referring to a conditioner, I'm talking about something that you rinse out. That can be
Okay.
deep conditioning mask, a thicker conditioner. That can be your conditioner in a bottle, just a rinse out conditioner. Apply your conditioner to your hair. Now, the third thing, when you apply your conditioner to your hair, this is when I typically recommend, if you are going to do a deep conditioning treatment or a steam treatment, this is when you can do it after you
Okay.
apply your rinse out conditioner.
Okay.
After you
So
apply,
you want to, after you apply, so you want to condition and then deep condition.
no, it's not a double condition. So, excuse me, let me clarify. My recommendation in terms of
Mhm.
a deep condition, I'm referring to sitting under a hooded dryer with your
Okay.
conditioner in, or
Okay.
sitting under a steam machine. So I recommend, if you are someone who cleanses your hair at once a week or more, then I encourage people to get in the habit of using some heat with your conditioner.
Okay.
This is not absolutely necessary, but I recommend, and it's okay if you take your conditioner and sit under a hooded dryer for 15 or 20 minutes. If you are clean, I do it every time I wash my hair, which is every 7.
Okay.
I sit under a hooded dryer and I do it for different reasons. But If you don't have a hooded dryer and if you're just using a conditioner and you don't do that, if you don't step it up and sit under a hooded dryer or a steam treatment, don't just put your conditioner in and just rinse it out. This is the time for you to detangle it as well.
Okay.
So I always, hands down, recommend doing a detangling your hair with your rinse out conditioner in. Okay. So, and of course, this varies from person to person, depending on how much hair you have. I'm curious, how long does it take you to detangle your hair?
Well, first, let me just say the number one, the pre-poo, I've been doing that for several months now, and the difference that it makes for me is amazing. So during my pre-poo, I cleanse my scalp out of the shower and I'm going like this. I'll hop in the shower, do the rest of my shampoo, come out, do my deep conditioner. That is when I have been detangling. I would probably say detangling right now because I'm keeping my hair in a stretched state. Mm, Anywhere between, I would say, maybe like 30 minutes.
That's fabulous. Okay.
Yeah, 30. If I'm playing around, maybe 45 minutes, but typically like 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Okay, that's fabulous now. That is. Yeah, it's not that long at all, particularly with all of your hair. But detangle your hair with your conditioner in it. Conditioners provide slip. So
Yes.
if you are going to sit under a hooded dryer, like I said, that's optional. I recommend putting heat with your conditioner, whether or not it's a deep conditioner or not. But make sure you have the conditioner in it and make sure you keep your hair as wet. So with the conditioner in it, if you are in the shower and you're not sitting under the hooded dryer, you're detangling your hair with the conditioner in it, make sure it's wet. It's just easier in the shower because your hair is saturated wet. When you sit under the dryer and when you come back out to detangle your hair, which is many times what I do, I still take a water bottle and wet the hair even more to detangle it. Um, so, pre-poo, cleanse, condition, deep freeze,
Mhm.
steam is optional, even though I recommend it. And then you rinse the conditioner out. After you rinse the conditioner out, now it's time to layer on even more conditioner, but leave-in conditioner this time. Leave-in conditioner is different from regular conditioner. Clearly, it's not as heavy. Really, when you are conditioning your hair, when you're putting in your rinse out conditioner, the rinse out conditioner helps to lock in that moisture, number one, which is why
Okay.
not skip the rinse out conditioner. You would be surprised how many women I speak to and they say, "Oh, I wash my hair, then I use a leave-in conditioner." Oh no, you're skipping a whole step. Don't skip the rinse out conditioner. Always use your rinse out conditioner, then layer on your leave-in conditioner. So your leave-in conditioner, the rinse out conditioner helps to lock the moisture in. You rinse it out. You can rinse it out with cooler water. Doesn't have to be cold, but it can be cooler water. Some people use cooler water, some people don't. Anyway, rinse it out and then spray your leave-in, which is like with our natural hair, our natural hair is naturally dry. So we really want to get in the hair, really layering on the moisture. I believe in layering moisture, which is why I always encourage a leave-in conditioner. Some leave-in conditioners also help with detangling as well. And it really helps to lock in that moisture even more. So a leave-in conditioner. Then after your
Mhm.
leave-in conditioner, then you may add, now this is when you can move into extra moisture. Some people may add a moisture cream on top of
Okay.
that. People may go straight to their styling products. Some styling products are designed with moisturizing ingredients. So if you have a styling product that's also moisturizing, that's even more fabulous. So that's the order. Now, of course, I can break each one, but I'm staying focused, classically kept. At least I'm trying. At least I'm trying to stay focused.
Well, you're doing so the last one is going to be your styling product.
Yes, the last one is the
Oh,
style product.
okay, because I know people are eager with the questions. So I just have a couple of follow-up questions for wash day, and then we'll get into the questions portion because I want to respect everybody's time.
Okay.
The very first question that I have for the follow-up wash day is shampoo. So based on my knowledge, I know that there are basically three categories. You have like your regular kind of shampoo, you
Uh-huh.
have a cleansing shampoo, and then you have a chelating shampoo.
Okay.
Is there a guide of how often, when to use between those three different ones?
Well, just in terms of shampoos, like you said, in terms of the order,
Okay.
um, the there are chelating shampoos and clarifying
Hmm.
shampoos. So
Yes.
chelating shampoo would be like the strongest shampoo. That is the one
Strip
that I
everything.
really, yeah, it's gonna strip everything. It's really designed for if you are someone who swims, for example, it can help
Okay.
to remove the chlorine from the hair or a lot of heavy minerals from the hair. Like if you are someone who has, like me, I had hard water damage, a
Yeah.
lot of mineral buildup in my hair. That's when you would use a chelating shampoo. Most of us won't use that strength in general. So that's the highest one. Then right under that is a clarifying shampoo. The
Right. Okay.
clarifying shampoo, in terms of the strength of the shampoo, it's stronger than your everyday shampoo or your moisturizing shampoo or what I call your everyday essentials type shampoo. It's a little stronger than that. I recommend a clarifying shampoo if you are someone who likes a lot of hair products like me.
Okay.
I mean, if you like rocking your wash and go, putting all that gel in your hair, putting all that cream, putting a lot of butter, putting a lot of heavy product onto the hair shaft, then you can clarify. In general, you can use a clarifying shampoo anywhere from every 4 weeks to every 8 weeks. In general, some of us may even stretch it to 3 months. So anywhere from once a month to once a quarter, you can clarify your hair with a clarifying shampoo. That's again, if you are someone who just uses a lot of product, I like to liken it to um if you are, when you're if you're someone who wears makeup like me, I like makeup. And I don't wear it nearly as much as I wore it in my 20s, but when I used to rock it all the time, I would take it off just using a baby wipe, right? But then
Okay.
once a week or once every 2 weeks, I need to really cleanse the skin, right? With a good facial cleanser. That's what a clarifying shampoo can do for your hair shaft. So you have your clarifying shampoo, and then there are different types of shampoos that's designed for the scalp or different types of shampoos that really address a problem. So, like scalp shampoos or dandruff shampoos, like
Hmm.
just a common one. I don't really recommend Head and Shoulders, for example. That's clearly for the scalp, for dandruff, for buildup. So you have those problem solving shampoos. And the only people who would use that would be people who have these problems or people with colored hair. You need a shampoo that's going to protect the color or bond rebuilding shampoos if you have a chemical. Unless you have that problem, you don't really need that type of shampoo. So most of
Okay.
us to stay in the realm of the everyday shampoos, the moisturizing shampoos. Some of our moisturizing shampoos also have are gentle clarifying shampoos as well. So they're not clarifying shampoos, but they have some clarifying properties that are more gentle shampoos. And those are our everyday shampoos.
Okay, so that was perfect. So the next question that I have is co-washing. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is because I remember at one time there was a group of people who were literally just clarifying or washing their hair with conditioner. In your opinion, is co-washing practical? Is it needed? Is it necessary? Or do we just leave it out?
So co-washing today, I would say
Okay.
co-washing shampoos today is cool. Co-wash
Okay.
back in the day, in my heyday with natural hair, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, no. Because co-washing now, shampoos have surfactant cleansing agents in them, which cleanse the hair and the scalp. Co-washing now, co-washes or co-washing products also have surfactants in them, even though they may be mild. So that's fine if you want to use a co-wash. However, I would not use a co-wash as your sole shampoo. So you can,
Okay.
if you're a person who you want to co-wash once a week, okay, but you still need to add a shampoo once a month, for example. So I'm not a co-washer. I don't co-wash
Me either.
at all. I just use some good old-fashioned shampoo. Shampoo works just fine for me. So it is practical now, particularly if you are someone who likes to really rinse your hair out midweek. You don't have to go through the whole process. You can use a co-wash to gently cleanse the hair and condition the hair at once. So it's optional. Like it's
Optional.
not a part of your, it's not a part of my must-haves. It doesn't have to be a part of your must-have either, but it's optional.
Okay. Water temperature. I know this is a topic. Should we use hot, lukewarm, or cold water on wash day? Or is there a time? Is there a time and place for it?
Generally speaking, I recommend warmer water when you are cleansing the hair,
Okay.
washing the hair, like removing the buildup. It's kind of like when you're washing your clothes, you use hot water um, to really remove the dirt from your clothes, warmer water rather. So I typically recommend warm water for washing, cooler water to really to close that cuticle again with rinsing out the cuticle. Now, rinsing out the conditioner. Now I will say that
Beautiful.
we've learned. I've been doing it for years. However, I will say in total transparency, I do know people, I even know stylists who do not go by that rule. They don't go
Okay.
by the rule. They're like, you know what? I just use warm water and my client's hair is fine. So I get that too. But what I recommend and what I've been doing, cooler water for shampooing, excuse me, warmer water for shampooing and cooler water for rinsing out the conditioner. It doesn't have to be cold either. It doesn't have
Right.
to be cold. Like in the wintertime, I would turn that cold water on my clients and they would want to punch me in the face because it's cold, but just cooler when you're rinsing out the conditioner.
Okay. And then the last question that I have, or the last follow up, is going to be hard water. We know that hard water can wreak havoc on hair. We know that hard water can especially wreak havoc on natural hair. So my two-part question, because I saw somebody in the comments, the first person talked about the chelating shampoo. The chelating shampoo with the hard water and the cleansing shampoo with the hard water. I think somebody was asking, you keep using the hard water, you shampoo your hair and then the conditioner and then the leave-in. Is that counterproductive, or is that chelating shampoo or cleansing shampoo going to work?
Yeah, it's like canceling it out. If you're
Okay.
using chelating shampoo and then you're turning around and rinsing it in hard water, it's just canceling out the benefits. Hard water, I can attest to this personally. Two reasons. I had hard water. I didn't realize that the water in my home had changed over staying in the house for years, and my hair was destroyed as a result. And when I finally figured out, it was late. Like it wasn't too late. I had to cut off several inches of hair, and I thought, oh my God, that's what's going on with my hair. So
Okay.
hard water is an issue. It all depends on where you live. I definitely recommend a filter for your shower if you go in hair
That's what
salon.
I was getting ready to ask.
Attachment, like definitely you can be on the safe side and get a water filter for your shower. If you cleanse your hair in the shower, if you go in hair salons, you'll notice the faucet, they have filters on their faucets for that
Okay.
reason. So yes, it does absolutely cancel out the benefits if you're cleansing with hard water. I can even attest to it. 25 years ago, I went to graduate school in Michigan. I'm from Virginia. I went to graduate school in Michigan. First time I had ever kind of left the house and went to Michigan State. If there's any Spartans in the room, anyway. So I didn't know, I was young. I was in my 20s, and I would take a shower, and my body I would get out the shower, and I didn't wash my hair in the shower at that time because I had relaxed hair, but my body would just itch and itch and itch and itch. Oh, it was horrible. It would get red just from the water. And I realized in Michigan, it was hard water. It was way too hard for my skin. My skin wasn't used to it. Destroyed my skin. I figured it out at some point that's what the hard water did to my skin. I did not
Mm,
my hair, but remember, scalp is still skin. So I can
yes.
imagine what it would have done to my hair had I cleansed my hair at that time. So a filter is key. Like if you have hard water, even if you question whether or not your water is affecting the health of your hair, that's like that missing link that so many of us don't think about. We don't think about the water. We may be doing everything right. We have our shampoo that schedule down pat. We have our
Yeah.
moisturizing schedule down pat. We have our styling schedule down pat. And then you still can't figure out, why is my hair breaking off? Why don't I have length? Why does my hair seem to shed a lot? It may be the water.
It may be the water. Yeah. We just, well, not just, but I'm supposed to be, my husband is supposed to be putting a Jolie filter shower head in our shower. So I'm excited about those results. But yes, I have seen, or I've heard stories about women and hard water. So
Yeah.
those are all of the questions that I had. Thank you so much. If you do have time, I wanted to open up for questions.
Sure thing.
All right, let's go ahead and get started. All right. What are your thoughts on using grease instead of oil to seal in moisture? I find that it lasts longer and my hair is softer.
Absolutely, Shanice. It is going to last longer, and I'm sure it is going to make your hair softer. Hair grease, it's like, in general, it would be like the best sealant in general of all of them. It would be the best sealant. So just in terms of grease in general, the word speaks for itself. It is very greasy. So if you don't mind the heaviness of grease on your hair, then that's okay. If you don't mind the heaviness of it, and it really does lock in the moisture longer. Hair grease, petroleum or mineral oil, the liquefied version of it. If you think, well, for me, back in the day, I talked to my mom. I ain't that old, y'all, but back in the day when we used to rock the afros. Now I'm a 70s child, but I talked to my mom about it, and I thought, well, how did y'all rock y'all fros back in the day? Like how did you keep it in a fro? And she said, it's the hair grease. And I was like, really? She said they put it in big plaits and they picked that joint out, and it was grease. And what the grease did, the grease blocked the moisture's ability from the air to absorb into the hair, keeping the froing and popping. So I thought, oh, and she said it was the same thing back in the day when they would press their hair with grease. That is why they were able to keep the hair straight, like before relaxers became in vogue and women would do the press and curl back in the day. They used hair grease. Now, I'm not saying that was the best thing, horrible for the scalp, the grease and putting that heat, it will affect the scalp. But just in terms of it blocking out moisture and locking in moisture in your hair, then grease is cool for the hair.
All right. What are the pros and cons in using witch hazel on the hair and scalp?
Witch hazel, Miss Lanaya, wink. It's fine for the hair and for the scalp. It will fall under that category of being a clarifier. Actually, you can use it to clarify the hair and clarify the scalp. So it would definitely fall under the category of using a clarifying. So I go for it. If you prefer the witch hazel as opposed to the apple cider vinegar, or even as opposed to the hydrosol, the witch hazel is an option as well. Even with witch hazel, I tend to dilute products like the witch hazel or the apple cider vinegar with a little bit of water. So I encourage you to dilute it some.
Okay. I believe that's Brianna or Brianna. Can you walk through the steps on the proper way to have a long-lasting wash and go? Oh, this is going to be all you, Karen. You recommend wash and goes over twist outs. Wash and go and I are not friends. This is all you. Take it away.
Wash and go is my BFF. Brianna.
Take it
I
away.
love myself a good wash and go. And I used to love myself a good twist out. So just in general, I do have a video, Brianna, on my channel, Karen of the Curl House, where I have several videos on how to actually do the wash and go if you want to check it out. But just let me get through this briefly. In terms of the proper steps of a long-lasting wash and go, it has a lot to do with the product that you're using. So if you want to wash and go, just some of the key tips in terms of doing a wash and go. When you are doing a wash and go, I recommend that you do it when the hair is wet. wet, 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 saturated wet. So after you cleanse your hair, shampoo, conditioner, rinse it out, put in your moisturizing products. I always recommend that you coat your hair with, you use your moisturizing products as a base before any styling product. That is my recommendation before any styling products. I even use moisturizing products under styling products that say don't use nothing else but this styling product. I don't do it. I always put a moisturizing product on it. So put your moisturizing products, if you're sealing your hair with any oils or anything, do all that first. Then apply your, if you're using a gel, your styling gel, wet, wet hair. I even teach classes on this, and I tell my students, I want your hair dripping wet. That water should be running. It should be nice and wet, dripping wet. Okay. When the hair is dripping wet, when your face is doused in water, that means it's wet enough. So, anyway, dripping wet hair, apply the gel or cream to a small section. Don't use big sections, small sections. Use your fingers. Take a section of your hair. After you apply that gel, use your fingers to smooth in the gel and leave it alone. Do that throughout your entire hair shaft. Leave it alone. Do not touch those wet curls until your hair is dry because you will disrupt the curl pattern. I recommend sitting under a hooded dryer as opposed to air drying. Sit under a hooded dryer to lock in that heat, or to lock in that curl rather, or you could use a diffuser. You don't have to sit under the dryer till your hair is all the way dry, but do it for anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes to lock it in place. And then after it completely dries, then you can do a fluff. And that is how, that's the, in order to have a long lasting wash and go, it's all about technique. So again, I can definitely show you in my video. Also, again, back to basing the hair with the wash and go. The thing with the wash and go that's different from a twist out. With the wash and go, once you wet your hair, you have disrupted the curl pattern. So your that gel that you're putting on your hair, that gel creates the ingredients in gel kind of clump on your hair, your film formers. So they layer the hair and lock the curl in place. When you wet it, just in terms of the science of wetting your hair, there are bonds, hydrogen bonds of your hair that become disrupted or broken when you wet your hair, which is what they should do. So when you wet the wash and go, you are disrupting that hydrogen bond and your curl is fluffier. It doesn't hold the same, which is why it is key that you properly moisturize your hair before the wash and go. Now, for some of us, we may not be able to do a wash and go. When you say long lasting, I don't know if that's 2 days. I don't know if it's 3 days. I don't know if it's a week. But let's just say it's a week. Some of us may not be able to do it for a week because of our porosity, because of the condition of our hair. So you may have to midweek moisturize your hair, add a little more styling product, and then get through the rest of the week. Wash and goes or twist outs is just preference. I used to solely be a twist out girl before going gray. Now, twist outs, they just don't have the same pop the way a wash and go does now. So it is just, it's preference. The benefit of the twist out is that, and this is, we're going to say this is a twist out. You know, I was telling Classically Clep before we went online that I had my whole head in two-strand twist before this live. And I thought, let me take these twist out for this live. But the benefit of the twist out is that you can keep the twist in for a few days before taking them out. Which is what I like for my hair to just sit in that style. So with the twist out, if you want to do the twist out, I don't recommend that you twist it out on Monday and take it out on Monday evening. No, if you let that hairstyle sit in those twists for a few days, then your twist out or the shape will be locked in place. And if it's locked in place like that, then it's going to hold the twist out longer. Similar to like braids. If you have your hair in braids for a month, you take it out, the hair is all crinkly. It's because it's staying in that style for a significant amount of time. So if you want a long lasting twist out, twist it up, keep it in for a few days, then untwist it. Okay, how did I do?
You did good.
Is there
Is there a proper way to wash your hair and twist?
Yeah, so in twist, now keep in mind when you're wetting your hair and when you're saying in twist, I'm assuming you mean Sweet Geek is your natural hair. So if you're referring to your natural hair, or if you have twist as a style, so we're talking about your natural hair, you're washing your hair, you're not going through the whole process of really scrubbing the hair. So when you wash your hair, I recommend, if you can do it in the shower, I think that is best in the shower. And I recommend, if you're standing in the shower, because your hair is hanging long, your hair in the shower, your hair is going to fall in its natural position. That's going to help minimize the frizzing of the hair. You take a little bit of shampoo, because if you're washing the hair in the twist, again, this is contingent upon the texture. Sometimes if you have fine textured hair, it may not even last. But if your hair is able to be washed, your natural hair, do it in the shower, take a little bit of shampoo, just a little bit, and you're really focusing on the scalp. As you rinse your hair out, yes, some of that shampoo is going to get on the hair. After you do that, as opposed to putting in your thicker conditioner in this case, because if it's your natural hair and you're applying a lot of conditioner to your hair, you want to make sure that your twists stay in. You can put a gently used shampoo, not a lot, even like a co-wash probably would be the best recommendation for cleansing your hair and twist. And after you cleanse your hair with a co-wash or with a gentle shampoo, definitely follow up with your leave-in. And then I would suggest putting a little mousse on the twist just to smooth the hair back down and sit under the hooded dryer so your twist will still look good.
Okay. I think that's Melly Black. Good afternoon, ladies. I hope all is well. I struggle so bad with retaining moisture. I often hear that water is moisture. Should the water be a certain temperature, washing and then rinsing?
Yes, we talked about that. So I'm going to recommend cool water to rinse, and um, warm water. Warm water really opens up the cuticle. It helps to remove all the stuff from your hair. So warm water with washing, and cooler water with rinsing. What I always say in terms of these suggestions, I always say, give it a try. If it works, stash it. If it doesn't work, trash it. So
I
you
like
can choose, either stash it or trash it if it's nothing that's going to harm you. So when you're getting tips from me or anyone else, if it's not going to harm you, if it's not going to harm your hair, so to speak, then try it. If it works, cool. Stash it in your arsenal of natural hair advice and regimens. If it doesn't, then trash it. Don't use it. That relates to hair care and products. So yes, you struggle so bad with retaining moisture. So Melly Black, in terms of retaining moisture, your hair's ability to retain moisture is contingent upon where you live, the environment, the products that you use, your overall porosity, and the overall condition of your hair, if your hair is healthy in general. So some of the general recommendations with retaining moisture is use a moisturizing products that have humectants in them, emollients in them. Some products might have oils and butters in it to help your hair stay moisturized longer. It's also important to know your moisture cycle. Your hair only retains moisture in general anywhere from 4 to 7 days, like in general. So your hair has water in it anyway. So your hair only retains water from 4 to 7 days, which is also in part why you need to wash your hair, because on wash day you get maximum moisture to your hair on wash day. So if you're struggling with retaining moisture, I would consider your porosity. I would consider what you're putting in your hair and how often you're applying products. It's okay if you have to apply some type of moisturizing product or a product that contains water to your hair daily. That it's okay. Before I really, I switched my products recently, and I'll talk about that later. But at some point, I had my moisture cycle was every day. So particularly all this changed when my hair went gray. When I went gray, for my gray silver foxes out there, I get it. I know the struggle. with moisture retention. But before my porosity change and my texture change, when I did my twist outs, I could do barely anything. I didn't have to do anything to my hair for 5 to 7 days. It was fine. Not with this. I have to do more so that I don't have to necessarily moisturize it as much now that I've kind of change some of the products that I'm using, and I understand my hair more. But products, if you have to add something every day, that's okay. It is, even in terms of styles, from my experience in classically kept, I know you can probably relate to this as well. When my hair, the style that I had about 5 minutes before turning this camera on, I had my hair in all two-strand twists. It was just chunky twist. That's how I was rocking it for the week, right? When my hair is in I call it a contained style. So, which kind of some people call it a protective style, but a contained style, when it's twisted up, when it's pulled back, when it's tucked away, when I have my moisturizer in it, when I have my butters in it, and I just have it twisted up and tucked away, it holds on to moisture longer because it's not competing with
Yes.
elements, so to speak. It's just kind of tucked away. I retain moisture much better and twist than I do in my if my hair is in a wash and go, when it's out and when it is exposed. So Melly Black, I don't know anything about your hair, the length of your hair, or anything like that, but that is something that you can consider too. The hairstyle and how your hair reacts differently, and how the retention of moisture may be longer if you have your hair in a different style. So consider that as well.
Okay, so we are at an hour. I know we typically like to do these during lunch. So if you do have to exit, thank you for being here. I will post the live. Karen, if you don't have anywhere to be, do you have a little bit more time to answer a couple more?
I have a few more minutes. Sure thing.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so let's answer a few more and then you can get to yours. So here's the next one. Any thoughts on using protein and deep conditioning treatments on the same wash days with high porosity hair? Thank you.
Okay, I think that is doing what I call doing the most. Okay, so if you're using a protein and a deep conditioning treatment, let's see. Protein treatments, many protein treatments. When you're putting a protein treatment in the hair, the purpose of the protein, after you apply the protein treatment, now I'm just saying in general, what I'm not referring to, let me clarify, is the ApHogee two-step treatment, which is a liquid and a cream. I'm referring to one protein treatment, one product that is primarily protein. If you are using a protein treatment, a product, protein treatment that is a cream, you are applying it to your hair. The purpose of the protein treatment when you rinse it out is to have some of that leftover protein on the hair shaft, strengthening the hair shaft. If you turn around and add a moisturizing treatment on top of the protein treatment, you're canceling out the benefits of the protein treatment in the first place. So I recommend that it's one or the other. You do not need both on that same day, even for your high porosity hair. You just need one. Don't double condition. So one of the protein treatments that I recommend, because there are several, and this is just my general recommendation, it's one by Hydrothermal Naturals. Hydrothermal Naturals, it is called protein plus amino, something like that, protein treatment. Hydrothermal Naturals protein treatment. It'll pop up. It's fabulous. You only need one. You can use that. You can even sit under the hooded dryer with it, and you only need that one. You don't want to cancel out the benefit of the protein by turning around and adding a moisturizing treatment. And again, this is excluding the ApHogee liquid and cream. Not that one. I'm talking about all other protein treatments.
Okay. And I put that down in the chat. There's a trend of making your own oil with cooking oil mixed with clove and rosemary leaves. Is it ideal and is it healthy and ideal for growing your hair?
Yeah, what's cooking oil? Because I
maybe like
avocado. It's like vegetable oil.
There's canola. There's vegetable.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't recommend that. Now, if there is like cooking oil, for me, I think of olive oil, I think of avocado oil. But like, I guess the cooking oil this person is referring to is like vegetable oils.
or canola oil?
Yeah, no, I don't. No, I don't. I don't recommend that because even like don't let me go down the road of foods and health and oils and yeah, it's like a lot of that oil you don't know when you have these vegetable oils, you don't even know what's in the vegetable oil
Okay.
or yeah, so that's one thing. Now if you want to make your own oils with rosemary leaves and cloves, and that's fine, but I wouldn't use traditional cooking oil. Y'all keep me abreast of these trends because I don't know nothing about these trends, but I'm going to tell you cooking oil. Yeah, I wouldn't use the cooking oil in my body, and I definitely wouldn't use it on the hair because of
Okay.
what they are made of. So yeah, you can do that, but don't use cooking oil. You can use olive oil would be an example. You can use jojoba oil for an example. In terms of ideal for making your hair grow, I wanted to address that healthy hair and hair growth begins within. So I would not get in the habit of applying a whole bunch of oil to the scalp to make it grow. Growth comes from within. Now, there are topical things that you can put on your hair to support growth by all means. If you are dealing with slow growing hair loss, I always recommend growing differently, taking a different approach and focus on what is going on inside. So I wouldn't say that that these oils will make your hair grow in and of itself. It may definitely address an external deficiency, but if you are dealing with hair loss or slow growing hair, I recommend get to the root of the issue by determining what is going on within the body that is compromising the growth of your hair, that is disrupting your hair growth cycle, or that is causing your hair to grow slowly or not at a normal pace.
Okay. What is a good pre-wash treatment for itchy scalp? I
Apple
think
cider
we talked about that.
vinegar. Yeah, so
I think you said, go ahead.
yeah, you can use you can do an apple cider vinegar rinse and you can do it on your scalp. You can do it as a pre-wash before you wash your hair. Apple cider vinegar is amazing for the hair and it's amazing for the scalp. Witch hazel is another example, or even the hydrosol if you want to do that. And
Okay. Were you going to say something?
I was going to say something about the about making sure that that person, I forgot her name, forgive me, is getting in a habit of washing the hair, cleansing the scalp. So an itchy scalp, it's if you have an itchy scalp, the best thing that you can do is wash your hair. Right. So yes, absolutely do the pre-wash, but if you find your scalp is consistently itchy, many times with our scalp, as I said earlier, our scalp has its own microbiome, defense system, environment, and our scalp produces yeast, which is normal. It's a fungus, it's yeast. But what happens many times we have an itchy scalp when there is an imbalance of that yeast on the scalp. The yeast on the scalp feeds on oils. It's lipophilic. It loves oil, so it feeds on the oils. It feeds on the butters. It even feeds on the sebum. So, which is why when there's an imbalance of the natural yeast on our scalp, that can lead to itchy scalp, which is why I recommend that you get in the habit of washing your hair more. If you don't wash, if you are someone who washes your hair every 2 weeks, if you find your scalp is very, very itchy, then just get in the habit of cleansing your hair more frequently. Okay.
Okay. A couple more and then we'll go move on to you. What
Okay.
would you recommend as an alternative to water slash hydrosols for rehydrating the hair as they seem to dry out my hair further?
Well, botanicals, water hydrosols for rehydrating the hair. I would recommend if they seem to dry out your hair, I recommend that you can step them up. You can add a little humectants to them. So humectants are ingredients that really help to moisturize your hair even more. So hydration, hydra is the Greek word for water. So hydration is just water. But we know we can put water in our hair feels amazing, but eventually it evaporates, it dries. Water is great for the hair, but to really keep that hair moisturized, moisturization is hydration, is water mixed with other moisturizing ingredients such as humectants and emollients, for example. So you can add um, Aloe vera juice is a great one. Try aloe vera juice. Try adding a little bit of vegetable glycerin to your water. Try adding a little bit of oil to your water as well. And that will help to keep the hair locked in, keep the moisture locked in even longer. So, aloe vera is a great one, and vegetable glycerin. I'm saying for vegetable glycerin, I'm saying about 5%, 10%. So if you have a 8-ounce water bottle, no more. 10% of 8-ounce water bottle is less than an ounce. So just try adding a little bit of vegetable glycerin. Or if you want to add a little bit of aloe vera juice, then you can do that as well. You'll see some of these ingredients. If you start looking at some of your ingredients, you'll start to recognize a lot of them are very, very similar in product ingredients for our hair and even product ingredients for our body. Like if we think about lotions, if you're bored one day, pick up a bottle of lotion, look at the ingredients, and then pick up your moisturizer. In your moisturizer, just compare. You'll be surprised that you see many of these similar ingredients in the lotions. And moisturizers for your skin and for your body, and moisturizers for your hair. So try that VV Botanicals and see if that helps.
All right, two more. This is a good one. How do you know when to moisturize your hair by feeling your hair?
That's a very, very good question, Jay, in terms of how to moisturize your hair. What I recommend that everybody do a little test on your own hair when you're bored, because it is so important that you know your hair. You know your hair. So the best way to do it, I want you to one day on the weekend or whenever when you wash your hair, take a little small section of hair in the back, right? And I want you to put it in two twists. I want you to twist up one section because you need to go somewhere. So take a small section of your hair and do two twists. One twist with just nothing in it. Another twist, put moisturizer in it. Whatever you use to moisturize your hair, I want you to put the moisturizer in it. And then each day, I want you to untwist the piece of hair that you put the moisturizer in it and just feel it and compare it to the piece of hair that you put nothing in it. Now, of course, the one that you put nothing in it is going to feel drier, but at some point, the piece that you twisted with the moisturizer in it is going to start to feel similar to the one with no moisturizer in it. And that's when you can determine your moisture cycle. Like, how often do you need to actually moisturize your hair? So that's how you can do it, by feeling it. Because when it's like this, when you have a lot of product in it, sometimes it's hard to really gauge, like, do you really need to moisturize your hair? You certainly can't do it based upon how it looks. Sometimes you can do it based upon how much hair comes out. I forgot to mention that earlier, classically kept, when you ask how to determine if your hair needs to be washed. If you're touching your hair, if you're getting a lot of hair coming off, that might be breakage due to dehydrated hair. But the same thing goes with moisturization. If you're touching your hair and if you're seeing an unusual amount of hair coming out, your hair might be dehydrated. Dehydrated hair leads to broken hair. So feel the comparison. That's it.
Okay. I'm going to turn that into a short. I'm going to try that as well, but I'm turning that into the short. All right. Oh, wait a minute. Last one. All right. What about herbal rinses such as green tea or caffeine for the hair? Where is their place in the hair regimen, and how often? Postpartum mom here. Congratulations on your bundle of joy.
Congratulations. Yeah, herbal rinses, green tea, caffeine, amazing for the hair. You can do a green tea rinse, a caffeine rinse. You'll find some of these things in your hair products as well. Excellent for the scalp, excellent for clarifying the scalp, excellent for stimulating growth. Green tea, there are even studies out there that really show green tea helps to stimulate growth, among other things. Green tea, or there's caffeine in green tea as well. So where is there a place in your hair regimen, and how often? Generally speaking, once a month. Some people will do it more than once a month. Well, let me clarify. If you're going through postpartum, there are many things that you can do for postpartum. So if you're going through postpartum, and if you are, I'm assuming, Mrs. Cooper, that you may be dealing with some hair loss or some excessive shedding due to postpartum, I'm assuming. If that's the case, then you can do it more than once a month. Maybe at what is it, twice a month. You do these rinses on your scalp, let it sit on your scalp for anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes, and then rinse it out and then go to your shampoo. Or you can use products that have some of these ingredients in it. And also, Miss Cooper, keep in mind, going through postpartum, sometimes you have to let your body do what it needs to do. Your balance, your hormones are imbalanced. And when you have imbalanced hormones, it disrupts your hair growth cycle. So your hair may be shedding more than normal because of your hormones are trying to rebalance. Again, I don't know how old your little bundle of joy is. But many times it can take anywhere from 1 to 2 years for your hormones to rebalance. Sorry.
2 years? Wow.
Up to 2 years, anywhere from 1 to 2 years. So definitely be patient with your journey. You can do the green tea rinses and making sure in terms of, even in addition to the green tea and the caffeine, the trichologist in me is just speaking, sorry. Make sure that you are really focusing on what you are eating as well. Really, you're doing what you can to support your body. And I know that may be, I know you're focused on your child. I totally get it, but you're doing what you can do to support the health of your body. And you can support your body, not just by what you're doing here, but what you're doing here. Try to really increase what you're eating in terms of nutrient dense food as well, and allow your body to go through the process of resetting itself, and your hair will definitely come on back. But anyway, green tea, caffeine rinses, for you, you can do them twice a month. Let it sit on your scalp anywhere 15 minutes or say, rinse it out, and then move on to your shampoo.
So when it comes to the green tea and the caffeine, the rinses, where in the wash day would you recommend for it to go?
Before.
Okay, so even before the pre-poo?
Yeah. Oh no,
Okay.
I forgot about shampoo. Okay. So yeah. Oh God, I forgot about all these steps. No. So you're doing your pre-poo.
Okay.
People do it two ways. You do your pre-poo, you rinse your hair down, rinse it down. You can do your green tea before your shampoo, or you can do it typically right before the first shampoo, or you can do it in between shampoos.
Okay.
So
Either way you rinse it out.
Yeah, either way you rinse it out. But
Okay.
the goal really, you want it to sit. Like,
Yes.
you want that caffeine and that green tea to really penetrate the follicle. So you want it to sit. Now, if you're doing it before you shampoo the hair when it's wet, you may have buildup on the scalp. So if you do have buildup on the scalp, then you may want to do it in between shampoos. But the goal is for it to sit on the scalp. That's the goal, for it to sit on the scalp.
And then that means that when we're shampooing, it's the warm water, and when we're taking the conditioner, it's the cool water. Not freezing cold, but it's cool water.
Not freezing cold, yes. And
all right.
Massaging that scalp. Why are you doing it? Scalp massage, you all, it's amazing for
They are so amazing.
Others massage it on into the scalp too. So you're letting it sit, but you can help it out by massaging it into the scalp. So your wash days might get a little longer.
You might. That's okay. Now we are coming to the end. I want to thank you so much. You gave us a wealth of information, but a lot of people might not know that you have your own products and you just went through a rebrand. So do share.
Oh, thank you. So you all, I have many things going on. But most of you all do not know that even though I am on YouTube, I am a licensed cosmetologist. I specialize in natural hair. I'm also a certified trichologist. I specialize in hair loss as well. And I have a product line. I've been having a product line for actually 5 years. So this is my 5-year celebration. And last year I went through a full rebrand, which meant I took my existing products and I stepped them up. So I am literally in the process right now of relaunching all of my products. Let me see. I can't get them all. It's one more in there, but y'all, what do you notice? It's purple, favorite color. But anyway, I do have a product line, Curl House. My tagline is grow differently, because I really encourage people to take a different approach to their healthy hair care and their healthy hair scalp. And taking that different approach it's also focusing on the body. So the product line was designed for people who who's dealing with dry hair. So a lot of the products have oils and butters in them, have green tea in them. That really help to encourage growth, that strengthen the hair. The sealer is literally called the sealer because it's used to lock in, seal the moisture in the hair. I do have a product for the scalp. The healer, because it does heal inflammation of the scalp, it helps to stimulate growth. So I have a whole product line. And actually, today is the day I actually relaunched it. It's just by chance that I'm on here today. Yay. I'll have a live on on Sunday to talk about the products even more. But I am, for everyone who places an order for today, you will get a complimentary scalp massager as well. So if you place an order today from this live or anything else, you will get a complimentary scalp massage. But I wanted to point out one thing with this product line that maybe I'll do this one. I'll end it with this. This product is called the Healer Follicle Stimulating Drops. Growing differently, again, it's taking this holistic approach to healthy hair and focusing on the body. And as a trichologist, I recognize the importance of considering your body as it relates to the health of your hair. So I encourage people, think about the hair care differently, which is holistically. So on the back of every single label, you will see a little, very small, it's kind of like a little afterthought, a holistic hair health tip, or what I call a grow differently tip. So if this is the healer for the scalp, it helps to heal the scalp, stimulate growth, reduce inflammation. Just what you're doing to your hair, you need to consider the body. So healing, the little tip, healing takes time. Be patient with your hair journey. So I want you all, I appreciate you allowing me to share this. And I want you all to recognize if you're dealing with any type of hair issues, even if it's not a alopecia, for example, even if you're just struggling to learn how to take care of your hair, that takes time. And I encourage you just to be patient with that journey. So anyway, thank you very much. Curlhouse.com is my actual website, curlhouse.com.
Yes, ma'am. So like I said before, thank you so much. All of Karen's information will be down below, her Instagram, her YouTube, and for her rebrand, I will put that in the chat. Once again, I want to say thank you so much to Karen. And once I go pick up my granddaughter, I will go and put this on live, or I'll put it on YouTube, and I think it should post to Instagram. But we'll see everybody later. And like I said, thank you so much, Karen. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. And thank you for the congratulations, too.
Of course.